Welcome to this video that belongs to Lesson 3 of Module 2. My name is Mari Carmen Suárez de Figueroa Baunza, and the aim of this video is to define ontology design patterns and to show the different types of existing patterns. Let's start by defining patterns. The word pattern derives from the Latin and is something proposed to imitate. A design pattern can be defined as a set of guidelines to solve design problems. Software engineers define design patterns as a simple and elegant solution to specific problems of object-oriented design. These patterns provide a common vocabulary for designers to communicate, document, and explore design alternatives. We can say that a design pattern is a generic description that helps to solve a modeling problem. Such a generic description should be used or could be used in different situations. In the ontological engineering field, ontology design pattern is defined as a modeling solution to a recurrent ontological design problem. For example, typical situation like two people who are both researchers and university professors, or who participate in a particular conference or event. These situations are candidates that could be modeled using ontology design patterns. The application of patterns in the ontology conceptualization was proposed by Clark and colleagues in 2000. Given the previous definition, ontology design patterns are associated not only with the idea of pattern in software engineering, but also with the idea of good practices in the same discipline. Thanks to the ontology design patterns, the modeling of certain design problems can be easier. In addition, the ontology design patterns improve interoperability between ontologies through the use of proven solutions and best practices. There are different types of ontological patterns that treat different kinds of problems. In addition, each type of pattern can be represented with different levels of formality. For example, logical patterns solve problems of expressivity of the ontology languages. These patterns are formal expressions of a logical vocabulary. They are independent of the domain, and therefore of the content modeling. And they solve design problems that primitives of the selected representation language cannot model. Another example are the content patterns. They solve problems of the domain, medical domain, bibliographic domain, among others. It is worth mentioning some of the most popular patterns in the ontological engineering field. With respect to logical patterns, the most common one is the n-ary pattern. This pattern helps to represent situations involving relationships with arity greater than 2. For example, a person who buys a book in a store for a price. As for content patterns, some of the most used are the part of, participation, or agent role. The later one, agent role, can represent situations where an agent or a person play different roles at the same time, as the example of the researchers and university professors mentioned at the beginning of this video. If we need to use ontological patterns during the conceptualization of the ontology, we can use catalogs and pattern repositories as the one proposed in the NEON project. One of the catalogs of patterns that can be used is the ontologydesignpatterns.org, which consists of a repository of ontological patterns of different types. This catalog also includes a semantic wiki for description, discussion, evaluation, and certification of patterns. Now, we will present a summary of what is shown in this video. We are going to continue, but we recommend you to stop and summarize what you have seen in the video. Ontology design patterns are modeling solutions that solve recurrent problems of ontology design. They facilitate the solution of design problems mainly during the ontology conceptualization. And they also improve interoperability between ontologies through the use of proven solutions and best practices. There are different types of ontological patterns dealing with different kind of problems and expressed with different levels of formality. Some examples are the logical patterns that solve problems of expressivity of the ontology representation language, and also the content patterns that solve domain problems. There are also several catalogs and repositories of patterns, including the ontologydesignpatterns.org. Finally, it is advisable to review the additional material available on the platform. Thank you very much for your attention.